Hi folks, welcome to your MWIS Winter Planner. This updated on Friday the 23rd of December. It's your Christmas planner today, and we've got the latest details throughout the festive period, and it's looking a rather unsettled one as we go between Christmas and New Year, as various centres of low pressure are expected to move through across the British Isles. One of the first headlines to note in the days ahead is a sharp drop of temperature, which starts from the northwest during Christmas Day and into Boxing Day, leaving the mountain terrain extensively frozen and some snow and some hail falling once more to low elevations. Boxing Day actually could be quite a severe day on the mountains, so do be aware of that one. Temperatures varied in the week ahead, and it will be an often windy story. Now, a week is a long time in the weather world, and it does feel as though some of the patterns have shifted somewhat compared to the longer range trends from a few weeks ago, in that lower pressure and Atlantic systems are a little bit more in play now, and that's being affected to some extent by the deep freeze that is sweeping south across North America at the moment, and that just affects the jet stream a bit like shaking a rope. The downstream influence of that then can just behave differently, being given a kick basically by what goes on further back in the pattern. Either way, that has tended to drive the jet stream a bit stronger out into the Atlantic. So we're dealing with areas of low pressure that are in charge this week. The jet stream is still running quite a long way to the south, which does mean that the cold air, which still exists to the north of us and has been for recent weeks, will still get very much into the pattern. And it's those interactions around the top side of lows that come through which will be crucial in terms of where the rain and snow boundary is for the week ahead. I suspect there could be some interesting stories develop through this upcoming week, particularly in northern regions where snow may well fall to lower levels at times. A lot of uncertainty between many of the forecasting models as we go further forwards in time, so we won't dwell on this too much for today. The suggestion would be that lower pressure is out over the Atlantic, a bit further south again, higher pressure somewhere over central and southern Europe. The airflow direction would be suggested as more south-southwesterly, but it wouldn't take a lot to still have that chillier air in play, particularly over northern Britain. So we shall revisit that in a week's time and just see where that trend is going. Let's take you through some of the shorter range details then. This is the freezing level situation. Starting off midnight beginning Saturday, and we have some cold air that's in place across Scotland, some snow falling overnight into Saturday. At freezing level down to 500-600 metres or even a bit lower as we start at the morning, but that will be tending to lift as time is going on. Soonest around coastal areas in the west, where it's already up to about 1,000 metres or above as we start the morning, but a gradual lift to sort of 700 to 900 metres further inland around Ben Nevis, the Cairngorms, and that higher terrain is going to stay broadly frozen and snow cover. Some thawing will exist on the lower slopes. I suspect not much snow will have really fallen down towards the glens. It's mostly up at sort of mid slopes upwards. As we go through Saturday evening and night, the freezing level is sort of close to the highest tops in Scotland, but that's about as good as we're doing at this stage, about 1,000 metres or so. Christmas Day then, and we see some cold air waiting in the wings toward the northwest. And whilst much of Britain sees relatively mild air, we have got that change to much colder air that's moving back in from the northwest through the day. And that could be quite a sharp drop of freezing level. There's a bit of uncertainty on the exact timing, but do be aware of that dropping as we go through the day, so that by the end of Christmas Day into the evening, that freezing level is down to 400 to 600 metres pretty widely across Scotland, and overnight into Boxing Day, that fall of freezing level will continue to extend all the way across Britain, so most of the upland terrain is frozen even to lower elevations across the Highlands as we go into the start of Boxing Day, and that freezing level stays down through the day. It will rise maybe a little bit during the daytime, and particularly more across Wales, where it's only around 700 or 800 metres, but elsewhere terrain is frozen once more to low elevations. The week ahead is then going to be a story of some freeze and some thaw cycles, although those will be temporary across the Highlands, really just only brief rises of freezing level, the higher mountains broadly staying at or below freezing point throughout, but there will be some periodic rises and falls of that freezing level further southwards, taking the tops in northern England occasionally above or below freezing point, and Wales maybe more often just above freezing. But as you can see here, this is towards Thursday. There is the scope still further of dragging much colder air back further south across all of the country once again. So what does that do to the snow situation? This chart's showing you the coverage as we go forwards in 6-hour time steps, and there is some fresh falling and lying snow then across the Highlands into Saturday morning. So some fresh snow cover to play with on Christmas Eve for you there. And as we go into Christmas Day, that snow that lies will stay in place across the Highlands, little if anything elsewhere, barring just a few patches maybe on highest tops in England and Wales, but nothing substantial. Later Christmas Day daytime and into the evening, snow starts to accumulate with greater amounts across the Northwest Highlands, and that's where the focus is going to be, even onwards into Boxing Day as well, with some snow showing up across the southern uplands and likely to be something at least lying across the highest tops in the lakes, and some snow showers may just be around in Snowdonia as well. A lot of these may well be hail, so in terms of getting good accumulations, it may be a little bit lacking, but do expect some fresh snow to be falling across the Highlands at times. As we head onwards then into midweek, the snow just eases back as that less cold air comes in around Tuesday, but it will wax and wane, as you can see, onwards into Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe even coming back with a bit more substance in the second half of the week if that freezing level drops, as we just showed. The front responsible for the snow overnight into Saturday is just weakening and pulling northwards during the daytime. A few showers, though, will follow from the southwest, and one or two of these turning heavy later on in the day across the southwestern parts of the Highlands. And some heavy showers, too, over the Irish Sea will run inland across Wales and Cumbria increasingly through the afternoon. The wind strengthening, too, as a southwesterly reaching gale force widely over the tops as time is going on. Christmas Day's weather situation is quite similar in many ways in that it is a showery story. Most of those showers with some rain coming in across England and Wales. Any sleet or snow confined to the very highest tops. But as we mentioned, the colder air coming into Western Scotland will start to see that snow falling increasingly to lower elevations, particularly as we go onwards into the evening time. But in the northwest, do watch for that drop of temperature and snow level taking place much sooner in the day. Quite a blustery day then across higher tops, so be aware of a considerable wind chill. Wind chill will be severe as we go onwards into Boxing Day. Gale force westerly winds will drive frequent and heavy showers with snow and more often hail across most western regions, almost constant snow and hail across western and northwestern mountains in Scotland, but a good scattering of showers passing eastwards as well. So do be prepared for severe conditions on the mountains during Boxing Day. We have the risk as well of an isolated rumble of thunder or two in some of those heavier showers. It's that sort of pattern where it's an unstable snow and hail situation moving across us. Heading further ahead, and various centres of low pressure are likely to be around. Difficulty with detail, but frontal systems coming through, those fluctuating temperatures with a mix of rain, sleet and snow in the forecast. The risk, though, still being broadly very windy, the isobars closely packed together, giving the suggestion of gales quite widely across the mountains, so still looking rather poor. The main message then to give for the middle of the week is that we've got these small but quite powerful areas of low pressure that are going to be around, and the exact detail and timing of these at this distance is very, very uncertain. Be prepared for some very poor conditions then, the risk of gales or stormy winds to be wrapped in around these areas of low pressure. Snow on the northern flank of these systems, some rain mixed in further to the south as they move through. There may be some lulls and intermittent spells of better weather in there, but I think the message to take for now is just a very rapidly moving and at times severe weather situation could well be around. So stay tuned to the forecasts. All our content will be updated throughout the festive period as usual. That is your winter planner for today. Have a very safe and happy Christmas. Thanks for watching.